Normally, when you are handling the docket of foreign affairs,
Yes.
you are literally the face of the country.
What do you tell those who say, why take what Maju?
As we create opportunities here, which we must also give Kenyans the wings to fly. Since President Ruto took over, about 400,000 Kenyans have been facilitated to take up assignments, different levels of assignment abroad. By the end of this year, the figures we have is that Kenyans working abroad will be remitting over a trillion.
How do you wriggle through different interests, geopolitical interests, commercial interests?
There are some things which maybe we should debunk here.
Greetings from Chams Media Studios. I believe you are enjoying your holiday. And as you continue to enjoy your holiday, we are glad to let you know that we have Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, His Excellency, Dr. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi. Karibu sana to our studios.
Thank you, Alex.
Karibu. Yeah, we are glad to have you.
Yes, it's the first time I'm here, and I like what your setup is.
Yeah, we are honored.
Yeah.
It must have been a very busy year for you.
Oh, yes, it has been.
Traveling. I've also been traveling, but you've traveled more than me, I believe.
Yeah, to some extent, yes. Of course, in a way, I've become a foreigner in my own country. Yeah, but I'm happy I'm here with you.
Yeah, we need you to be out there to bring good things back home, and you've done very well. Probably, where is your most traveled destination this year, maybe, on a light note?
I think it has been more to Asia and also to the United States. Yeah, and Africa as well.
Africa.
Yes, I've done also quite some rounds in African countries.
Okay.
Normally, when you are handling the docket of foreign affairs,
Yes.
you are literally the face of the country outside our borders.
Okay.
All right? You symbolize the image of the country. You tackle the international concerns insofar as Kenya is concerned. You handle issues both from the economic perspective, maybe social issues, and also, more importantly, peace and security.
So, Your Excellency, for you, what are some of the highlights, the peak this year in terms of foreign and international relations? So what is there to highlight and to celebrate about this year?
The first one that is worth mentioning here is the fact that we managed to secure, through collaboration, an extension or a transformation from the MSS support team in Haiti to the gang suppression force. And the resolution of the UN was passed to allow this transition.
Okay.
And in the process, there was acknowledgement by the international community that the Kenyan police force had done a wonderful job in helping to mitigate and stabilize the situation in Haiti. So lives of people have been touched positively by the Kenyan people, by the Kenyan police force. And Alex, believe you me, they have done this, and there's no single complaint about any violation of human rights.
And that
in
makes
the conduct of their duty. So
and that makes Kenya proud.
That makes Kenya proud. You know, we have been involved in several peacekeeping efforts. On record, Kenya has been involved in peacekeeping efforts in about 53 stations globally. You know, when you go to Namibia today, or you go to Sierra Leone, the one person that they always talk about is General Opande. Okay? And the Minister for Sierra Leone is called Kaba. He's the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And he was narrating a story, and he was telling me that he was a child soldier in that country. And they remember being more or less rehabilitated through the efforts of General Opande, you know, in a peacekeeping mission in that country. So in Haiti, we have a police officer, Otunge, the force commander. He has done a good job maintaining almost 1,000 people out there for almost close to 2 years.
Wow.
With minimal casualties. So I think that is a very significant achievement. It should not be downplayed. And it continues to upgrade Kenya's credentials in the international arena. By the way, whether you are, and Kenya has been in East Timor, it has been in DRC, it has been in Kosovo. You know, this is why you find sometimes when you're traveling, you find people in maybe shops around Eldoret and other areas, they say Kosovo or whatever. Most of these are people who are involved in the peacekeeping efforts in those countries, and they've come back. So that, to me, is a very significant achievement. And mark you, it's coming after a lot of ridicule.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember the ridicule?
There was so much fear then that our police will be killed.
Yes.
They don't know the terrain.
You know,
there's a hidden agenda around it.
You know, so all this, and Kenya came out as the lead country, and some of the other countries that had said that they were going to give us their support. Very few of them honored their commitment.
Okay. It speaks volumes about the training of our police officers.
Correct, correct. So this is a mark of respect. The other one that I think is more recent is the issue around Kenya being the first country to sign the health
the health cooperation framework
with the United States. You know, being signed to be able to support our health programs to the tune of $1.6 billion or thereabouts.
Which is
a very, very significant.
It's equivalent to over 208 billion Kenya shillings.
Absolutely. Now, the only other way we would have raised this money or this support is either you increase taxes,
which would be more burden to Kenyans.
Which would be more of a burden to Kenyans. Or alternatively, we try and cut expenditure in many other areas. All right? So clearly, this is a very big achievement. But more so, when we have an agenda of the universal health care,
yes,
the significance of this agreement or framework becomes very important. Then, if I give you some statistics, we have about 1.4 million Kenyans who are living with HIV/AIDS. Then there are so many other Kenyans who have diabetes. And diabetes is a very expensive disease when it comes to things like dialysis, the insulin that is required, and so forth. This is a very expensive process.
Very expensive, yeah.
I'm sure you have known one or two people who go through this. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Then we have to immunize our young people our children from polio.
Polio.
Malaria is a big headache in our country, especially in areas like the Western Kenya, Nyanza, former Nyanza province, Western province, highlands into the Trans Nzoia area. Then you go into the coastal region. You find these are areas that are really malaria prone. Medication is required. And we also know that there's always mutation the effectiveness of drugs after some time diminishes.
And that's why research is a key component of that
Research is a key
framework.
component
Okay.
because you have to be dealing with new strains of malaria
Yes.
at any one time. Then we have people who have also been hit by tuberculosis. Now, this framework is covering this area. And it's hot on the heels after USAID has closed shop.
So there was a vacuum, and actually so many Kenyans
Yes.
had been affected, and even jobs lost.
Yes.
So this comes to fill that vacuum.
It absolutely.
It's timely.
Yes. It's a public good. It's not a personal good. It's a public good. And more so when we know that life is granted by God. And we all have a right to life, including the people who may be unwell. Okay, they have a right to life.
Yeah.
And our constitution also demands that the government of Kenya must also assure people of a dignified life.
Dignified life. And
Now,
to add,
so when you see what is happening, politics being played around an issue that relates to the life of people, then Kenyans are missing the point.
Yeah, the fear is data. That's been quite controversial, and I think the court cases around this. So the fear is then we are exposing ourselves to a data just being released.
But I think it's a misconception. There are very specific clauses there that state that if there's any issue around any reason for conflict within the framework, it's the laws of Kenya that shall prevail or take precedence. And in that document, there are very specific quotes and references to the Data Protection Act of Kenya, which was passed in 2017. All right? So ironically, as people talk about this, one asks the question, before we passed the act in 2017, then how was the data protected? Okay?
Yes.
So we know that there is a Data Protection Act that is required, and there are protocols that must be followed before you share that. So I'm sure we shall be vindicated in court.
This year, I think you've been to Japan as well.
Yes, I've been to Japan.
Yeah, their deal worth celebrating from Japan.
Yes, there was the TICAD, and we signed a framework also where Kenya will be able to benefit from the Japanese capital markets. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are looking forward to being able to access funds from the samurai, what they call the samurai bonds, and again to help in matters of climate-related or climate-friendly investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
In China also, there was something.
Yes, China again. We were able to move, and we signed a framework of pushing forward under the FOCAC arrangement, the preferential trade arrangement that China is offering to the continent of Africa. So we are pushing, and we are likely to be among the very first countries in Africa to be able to provide an avenue and access for our commodities and services to also find quota-free and tax-free placement in China.
What's the status of AGOA?
AGOA is likely to be renewed for about a year. When we were in Washington, this was an issue that was canvassed by the president, and we've been pushing it quite a bit. The president also had an opportunity to meet with the USTR chief, Mr. Greer, and we are likely to see an extension of 1 year. It actually should have passed earlier, but remember there was a shutdown
Yes.
in the US Congress for a while. So that standoff delayed the process. So we hope coming into the year, it will be extended for a year, while now countries can do their bilateral trade agreements, which Kenya is also pursuing. By the way, you see, it was a false narrative that was being propagated by some people trying to give the impression that Kenya is at loggerheads with the United States. That was not true. Yes. And what has happened has literally vindicated those issues.
And there were those who were fearing, remember we were at the White House, is it last year, together? There were quite many deals signed. So there was that fear, then Trump will come, overturn, and it will be all different and starting afresh. So it means continuation?
Yes. I mean, it means continuation. Kenya is an anchor state, the way I see it. Kenya is regarded as an anchor state by several countries, the United States included, when you look at the African continent. Remember, we are a non-major NATO ally, all right? And there's a lot of investment taking place here. The American embassy in Kenya remains the largest in the region. And we see them looking at expansion of their presence here. Kenya is the headquarters for the United Nations in the Global South. So all these and so many other things. Kenya today is host to the World Bank.
World Bank, yes.
Regional office. I think there are now 2 vice presidents that sit in Nairobi of World Bank. Before all this was about Washington. But now you have, and there are so many other entities.
The United Nations.
Yes, the United Nations, the UN, UNEP, and the UN Habitat, they're all here. We are seeing more institutions of the United Nations coming, transferring from New York,
yes.
and wanting to place their presence here. So this is a very significant milestone, and we see it as a great step in positioning Kenya as an international diplomatic hub. Yes.
Then there's a question that came from one of our viewers. How do you wriggle through different interests, geopolitical interests, commercial interests? There was this, East versus West, China, US. Is that an issue of concern that, the interest that could interfere with how we are handling these deals?
There are some things which maybe we should debunk here. When you go and look at the trade figures, for instance, just between the US and China, you will find that those are, maybe China is the biggest trading partner for the United States, outside Mexico and whatever. There are contradictions that people refuse to see. These superpowers are trading.
They are trading.
Yes, and they're trading in serious volumes. The trade between the US and China is far much bigger than between the trade between Kenya and China, or Kenya and the US. Okay, these are some of the realities that are there. But since independence, we have been a responsible member of the international community. We maintain good friendship with all countries. We have bilateral engagements with these countries. And each country has its own niche on what it targets and what it wants to invest in. All right? So I see no contradiction whatsoever. There are issues that will be dear to India, and we will negotiate with India for them to invest in those sectors. There are issues that will be dear to China, we will do the same. There are issues that will be dear to the United States, we will do the same. There are others with the European Union countries, there are others with the UK. And that is what diplomacy is all about. And then there is also trade in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so there is no contradiction.
And talking about trade in Africa, is all well in the East Africa community?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, no economic bloc would have a sunny day throughout the year. Whether you're looking at the East African community or you're looking at SADC, or there are challenges that come, and that is why we always have summits. We also have engagements, so that from time to time there's internal dialogue within the framework of the headquarters, that is in Arusha, where we take stock, have meetings, ministerial sessions, technical sessions on issues that emerge, because there are always issues emerging around trade, around immigration, around border-related issues, tariff policies. So these keep on coming, because every year each nation has its own budgetary process. And the nation then responds to the business concerns being raised by their industrialists, by their investors, by their agriculturalists. And sometimes when they are just in their parliaments, it then affects the framework around the East African common market issues. Then you have to go back and try and realign. So we always have that conversation.
Yeah. But there are reports of the dwindling contributions from member states. There are 8 for the East Africa community. That's one cited threat. The other is DRC, Rwanda conflict, Kenya, Sudan. Is that an issue of concern?
Yes, it is. It is, because at the end of the day, we have to fund our own economic blocks. So if some countries fall behind in their remittances, it definitely affects the operations of the institutions or departments within the East African community. So we then have to use diplomatic channels to appeal to the states to make sure that they make good on their payments.
Is that being handled?
Yes, it is being handled. Yeah. It's being handled.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, what was the significance of the recent peace deal in the U.S. resolving the DRC issue?
I think it's very significant because, first of all, DRC is a member of the East African community. There are a population of more than 100 million people in the DRC. It's a very rich country in terms of mineral resources and other natural resources. All right? So it becomes a significant entity within the East African community. For your information, about 40% of the financial services in DRC are actually provided by Kenyan banks, Kenyan financial institutions. That is Equity Bank, KCB. They are literally a very big backbone to the financial setup in the DRC. Other than that, as things stand now, DRC is landlocked. Okay, unless the Lobito corridor is opened up, which would then give them access to the Atlantic from Angola side. But on this other side, their access is either Mombasa or Dar es Salaam.
Dar es Salaam, yeah.
All right? So it becomes important that we maintain good relations so that they can evacuate their goods when they want to export, and also get their supplies when they are importing. So these are very, very important aspects that need a strong integration so that citizens of all countries and in the region can get maximum benefit. And that is why a peace agreement between DRC and Rwanda and the region becomes extremely significant.
It's very significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even for our manufacturers, a lot of these countries They are dependent on goods produced in Kenya. And everybody keeps on saying, why are you supporting the East African community? Why are you being lenient? I'm not being lenient, I'm being pragmatic. All right? Because Kenya is the largest beneficiary when it comes to the trade figures within the East African community.
Yeah, but Your Excellency, another threat to that, expanded trade, and because Africa is huge, leave alone East Africa, a common market would go a long way in really transforming the continent. But then infrastructure is a problem. People asking, why should we have a railway that ends up in Uganda and not straight to DRC, or Mombasa, Ivory Coast? You can imagine, like Europe, where you're able to travel across Europe using trains. Also air transport, common airspace.
These are the contradictions. Yeah. We are paying the price of having delayed to integrate as an African community. So that is why it is important that we accelerate the African Continental Free Trade Area framework. That is why we must strengthen regional economic blocks. And then beyond that, we have now the tripartite. We have COMESA, we have East African Community, and we have SADC, and then we have the tripartite. So all this is for us to dismantle these both tariff and non-tariff barriers that are hindering growth. By the way, where you come from and where I come from, it is easier today to get to Kampala by road than to get to Nairobi. All right. It's
true. Yes, it's true.
If you drive from here to Kisumu or Kakamega or Bungoma today, it's about 7 to 8 hours.
7 to 8 hours, yeah.
All right. Now it will take you maybe 3 hours to be in Kampala. Flying, it's sad when you have to leave Africa.
To go to Europe.
To go to
West Africa.
To go to another African country.
Yeah. Also visa.
And visa requirements.
Visa requirements, okay. Yeah, but quite a good efforts have been done to remove some of them, like between Kenya and South Africa, it's visa free, I think for 90 days.
And even the payment system, when you talk of the Pan-African payment system and all this, these are very important issues, because you have 55 countries
with the different currencies. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So His Excellency Dr. William Ruto advocating for
a payment system,
a common payment system, and maybe the African dollar.
Yes, and the Afrexim trying to manage this. All these are trying to help and facilitate trade.
Yeah.
You see, like for us, for instance, Kenya's currency is convertible. When I say convertible, it's we have a unified exchange rate. Okay, so you can exchange your money without any difficulty. Try other currencies.
Shida.
You'll have a problem. You'll not be able to convert those. Nobody will see the value of it.
Wow, Mheshimiwa, this issue of international relations, we can go on and on and on. Let me go into the second phase of our interview, and this is diaspora affairs and the welfare of Kenyans abroad. And when His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto came into power, diaspora was really one of his key agenda, and to ensure that we have Kenyans benefiting from many things abroad and the welfare of Kenyans abroad improved. So kumekuwa na hii kazi majuu. Kenyans, is it a reality? Are Kenyans going majuu? Kuna kazi majuu?
Absolutely. Yes. First of all, it's important for me to say it, because if you don't say it, who will say it for you? Or as the saying goes, if you don't blow your own trumpet, who will blow it for you?
Yes.
Okay, so this time, let's blow a bit of our own trumpet. The Kenya government, President Ruto's government, for the first time in our history, set up a diaspora department.
Yes.
It was non-existent. There was no diaspora department.
True.
It now
True.
exists. You know, a department dedicated to issues diaspora. So that is a very significant statement he was making to the Kenyans abroad or living in the diaspora. Now, when it comes to the Kazi Maju and all that, since President Ruto took over, about 400,000 Kenyans have been facilitated to take up assignments, different levels of assignment abroad in different countries.
That's a good number.
That's a very high number, okay? And we want this number to grow. And this is why we have also been dedicating our time to have bilateral labor agreements, negotiating with Germany, countries in the Gulf states, working with the countries in Asia, basically looking at where we can have bilateral labor agreements. We do it so that there's a clear framework on how Kenyans can be engaged in different nations. And the campaign has paid off. For instance, when you talk of Kazi Maju and what have you, one of the significant ones was, by the way, when Manoa's peace was in the UK,
Yes.
there was the Bukura, should I call it Bukura airlift?
Bukura Airlift, under the Mkulima Maju initiative.
Mkulima Maju initiative. We may call it an airlift of some kind from Bukura, where a lot of agriculturally trained people went to the UK to work in different parts of the UK. And by the way, they give a very good account of themselves. The stories we hear, or the accounts we hear, are serious endorsements of the Kenyans who went there under this framework. And this follows in terms of many different skills. Kenyans are seen as generally disciplined people who are ready to work long hours, you know. So it's they've earned respect. In a way, they have a brand, if I may use that as a phrase. They have a brand, and a brand of respect and integrity, and we must protect it.
So exporting human capital, which is quite important, and also because of also English, able to get jobs because we are good communicators. But there's been a challenge in some of the countries. Remember the Germany, Austria deal. I think then language barrier has been a challenge to some of these initiatives. But I think efforts are being made to have people learn German.
Yes. I'm one of those people who regret, because when I was in primary school, I had a chance to learn French.
I learned French, and
I thought it was a bother. Only to realize later that
Vous parlez français?
I should have taken it up.
Vous parlez français?
No, I can't.
Nilisahau.
But because it was seen as another load when you are in primary school. But I would now encourage Kenyans to actually master more than the English language alone. Kiswahili is more or less given because it's by the way, it's now spoken by about 500 million people on the continent.
Kiswahili, yes.
So and it's now even adopted as an African Union language. So it's important that they enhance their skills in Kiswahili. And by the way, not Sheng.
Not Sheng. Kiswahili.
Kiswahili. And then it would be important that as we go forward, Kenyans also become versatile in other languages. The Mandarin is becoming very important because of the China becoming a big player in the markets. French, whether it is Japanese, all these languages become important. So even in our educational curricula, I think the issue of language
Okay.
Needs to be taken more seriously.
Yeah, and there are those with foundations who are
Yeah.
contributing to making it happen. For example, I know Principal Secretary, Interior and National Coordination, Raymond Omolo, is supporting needy youth to learn German language in Luo Nyanza. And I think there are some who have already graduated past the B1 test, I think, and they are headed to Germany. And I think there are more of such initiatives. So this will contribute a great deal to the Kazi Machozi.
Yeah. And I think maybe Ministry of Education should perhaps increase the intake of teachers who are specialized or who are going to specialize in matters linguistics and languages, because then we would have enough of them to be spread across, because we should not make it look like learning these languages is only in elitist schools, so to speak, or urban schools. We should be able to have a French teacher in Mululu, or a French teacher in somewhere in Kwale, or or German, this in the schools there. So this is something that we can and we should enhance to be able to improve our skills, Spanish and all that.
Okay, and just to highlight more, there is Mwalimu Maju, of course, with the opportunities in the US.
I also saw some off at, there were about 50 teachers that we saw going off to the US under this Mwalimu Maju.
There's Muguzi Maju, nurses who've done very well.
Yes.
Dereva Maju,
Yes.
Dereva Maju. And you've been to the Jersey Island, I think.
No, I've not been to Jersey Island.
Yeah, I think there's an initiative also for the skilled and semi-skilled, what we call here Mjengo, kazi za Mjengo. Kenyans are doing very well there. And there's a company called GR8, and it's also part of the initiative, even the Kenyans who are living there, to take watu wa Mjengo Maju. And it's prestigious, those who don't know, to be a plumber,
by the way,
to be a mason.
These are some of the highly paying jobs today. If it's a plumber, a proper mason, a proper electrician. These are very expensive fellows in places like the UK and those countries today, because it's a skill that is now becoming rare. For instance, welders, people who will weld. For instance, just welding a ship so that water does not perforate and it sinks. The amount of skill that is required. And here is where Kenyans are being trained in the Tibets, with such serious programs. So if we just apply ourselves consistently, we will become a big source of skilled suppliers globally.
What do you tell those who say, why take what Maju? His Excellency, the government should put in place policies that give opportunities back home, create jobs back home. We are selling our country, we are selling our people by taking the Maju. What do you tell them? Why not create enough opportunities to back up Kenya?
The world is a global village today. And as we create opportunities here, which we must also give Kenyans the wings to fly. Kenyans must also don their entrepreneurship in other areas, in other parts of the world.
And the expatriates, foreigners working here too.
Yes, and the others doing business here and investing here. I mean, today, Safaricom has become the largest private sector investor in Ethiopia just recently. But it started here. The M-Pesa thing is spreading and all that. So we need to realize that we cannot be a closed shop. We cannot try and build walls around us. We must be able to get our talent, not just to help Kenyans, but to help the world.
And then there is skills and knowledge transfer. I believe, I may be wrong, but some of us who make notes, you find you've been abroad in one way or another. People have come back. Some are leaders in various capacities.
Absolutely.
So you gain skills, and people eventually come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, even as our people go and work outside, by the way, you can see now the remittances. By the end of this year, the figures we have is that Kenyans working abroad will be remitting over a trillion Kenya shillings annually.
You attribute the increased remittances to people going abroad, and the increase, the 400 you are talking about?
Part of it.
Part of it,
yeah, because there were others already there, and then there are others. And as we grow the number of Kenyans with opportunities beyond our borders, and they continue maintaining their interest in investing here, then the remittances will continue to grow.
And of course, in 2024,
this is why we were also talking about the diaspora bond.
Yeah.
Okay. Through a diaspora bond, for instance, and it's one of the things we are working on carefully. Kenyans, through that kind of investment vehicle, can then even contribute more significantly to development projects in their own country. India, which has perhaps one of the largest diasporas globally,
yes,
they did their bonds, and they were able to raise billions of shillings, you know, dollars, to support their country.
And this can go into energy projects, agriculture,
energy, roads,
so this
rural
money
electrification,
it
can also,
and that's also a new investment opportunity, investment
correct,
area, given the fears Kenyans abroad have that they've been conned in many areas, real estate. There's a new opening.
There's a new opening. I mean, it's a question of, for instance, we've just released the diaspora investment strategy. I launched it about 2 weeks ago here in Nairobi, and it's on the website. It's giving guidance on what are the investment opportunities that the diaspora can engage in. Okay. And by the way, let me correct one thing.
Yeah.
As much as that 5 trillion is coming, we must make it clear to Kenyans that this money is not coming to the treasury. You know, sometimes they think that the money has come to the national treasury.
It's mostly social welfare.
It is going to personal investments and family members of these diasporians. All right? So it is not coming as money to the government of
paying
Kenya.
fees, taking care of
Yes,
health.
but
health
then
and,
it becomes an injection into the economy. All right?
But that can also be channeled in an organized manner.
But it can now be channeled in a structured
manner. And that's why you have the investment strategy.
Now we have the investment strategy to try and not just confine these remittances to consumption, but to now start looking at them as a catalyst that we can leverage on for even greater investments.
Now, Your Excellency, the current issue, and I saw you've given a statement, the human trafficking in Myanmar. To what extent is this a threat to people going abroad and maybe watering down the good initiative of government, that people are still finding themselves abroad, they're finding themselves in trouble? About 119 have been repatriated from Myanmar.
It's a serious problem. You know, the human trafficking thing is globally, it's big business for people who engage in illicit trade. And Kenya, or Kenyans have fallen victim to these dangerous schemes. So we would want to encourage Kenyans that the Department of Diaspora Affairs, the Ministry of Labor, the National Employment Agency are institutions that have been set up through the taxpayers' money to help guide Kenyans on the integrity of those they're engaging with. externally for external jobs. Now, some of the people who are finding themselves in this awkward situation of either having been trafficked or risking their life, some of them fell prey to these scams. Unfortunately, some of them may also be agents for those networks and cartels, and they lure others into it. And I can tell you, more often than not, these are people who refused or deliberately avoided notifying maybe even some of their own family members, or notifying the government of where they want to go, because it's not an obligation. If you want to travel, it's not an obligation for you to say where you're going. It's your right to travel. Or once you have a visa for another country, you
the
can
choice
go.
is yours.
The choice is
but
yours.
Are you making the right choice?
That's the question.
Yeah.
So what we are trying to tell Kenyans, and this is where you can help us, is that let them do a quality check through these institutions.
And use the right accredited recruitment agencies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw some time back about 600 rogue ones were deregistered.
Correct.
And we have about 600 that are accredited.
Yes, and but we also we are delisted. But we are also next year, when Parliament resumes, we have had an intensive conversation on the migration laws. So we are going to bring a bill, amendments to the bill in Parliament, to be able to seal some of the loopholes that have been exploited by these characters to undermine Kenyans.
Yeah.
Okay, and indeed this scam is hitting other Africans too, other African countries as well. So we need to have both internal mechanisms here, but we must also collaborate internationally to try and fight.
And that's why you have been having these labor migration agreements to have legal pathways.
Correct.
And also tracking. And I know Madam Rosaline Jogo and her team at the State Department for Diaspora Affairs have really done quite well in terms of even pre-departure preparations.
Absolutely.
Handling mentor for those who are being repatriated. They have mentor issues. Yeah, but then, so another question is the Gulf issue, has it been resolved? Because it always used to be news, poor wages, poor handling of Kenyans there. Kenya has not negotiated well for their people, other countries have negotiated well. Is the Middle East, the Gulf issue resolved?
Yes, the Gulf issues are critical. And apparently most of the questions I've answered in Parliament in the course of last year, around these labor issues or migrant labor issues, quite a number have been actually around the Middle East. So we are pushing aggressively for bilateral agreements, and then also to fight against things like the Kafafa arrangements, because as we encourage Kenyans to take up good jobs or take up jobs outside, we want it to be productive to their lives. And it is not anybody's intention that Kenyans are put in a state of slavery or servitude in whatever form in any country whatsoever. And therefore, the urgency and the need to have well-negotiated bilateral labor agreements are important. And this is why the institutions we are talking about are critical to be able to help you determine the integrity of the corner that you are going to.
And just to mention, when I was in the Middle East, I was in Saudi Arabia. Maybe it's not highlighted. There are Kenyans away from what we know. Many here think when you go there, it's about domestic workers and so on. But I saw Kenyans in the milk sector. Some are managers of farms. Some are in IT sector. some are in the transport sector, you know, some are pilots, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that something you would want really to highlight and emphasize, that it's beyond the domestic worker?
I think so. I think you are making a very good point, because the general impression is that Kenyans are only going there for the domestic
Or menial jobs.
jobs and so forth. But what you have said is also true. We have been now flown so many times on some of the international airlines, Emirates, Qatar Airlines, not even to Nairobi, but even from maybe Doha to another destination when you're transiting, in the case of Qatar, or Dubai to another place. And the pilots are Kenyan.
They're Kenyans, yeah.
Several pilots are Kenyans. If you go to places like Qatar, the people literally manning and providing services at different levels in the airport, you'll find are Kenyans. The same will hold for Dubai. One of the very senior managers who is always available to assist us in Dubai is a Kenyan. So air traffic controllers, flight engineers, and so forth. Kenyans are deeply engaged in this.
There's a tiny island between Angola and Brazil that is very tiny, about 4,000 people population, and the air traffic controller is a Kenyan. It speaks volumes. Then, in a summary, we've said over 400,000 Kenyans have gotten jobs
since President.
Since
President Ruto took over. Yes.
Under the Kazi Maju. Then that there is that various labor migration initiatives, and then people should look for the right agencies. 600 are clearly registered.
In the law that we are proposing, we are making sure that if, for instance, you are registered, it must be gazetted. And if you are registered, we want you to be gazetted, so that it will properly be in the public domain. That this, you see just the way, if you look at the financial sector, you know, if before you get a banking license, and when you get a banking license, it is gazetted. So it is known that this is a legal, legitimate institution.
So, but where does one begin? Those who've listened to you, Kazi Maju, very many initiatives. Where does one begin? Watu wengi wanataka kwenda Maju.
Well, it's through these institutions, the National Employment Agency, the Ministry of Labor, the diaspora, they'll help you. So I would encourage people to make contact.
Look out for information.
Yes.
And I believe if you are in various professions, if you are a nurse, you know the agencies to look for.
And all these institutions have websites. They can be accessed online. Yes.
Yeah, you keep warning Kenyans, and you've done very well this year. Internet is there for us, free. You can say anything nowadays. What are the dangers? Whether you're in Kenya or Maju, you've gone Maju, and you're just using the internet the way you want, abusing people, posting anything. You've been very consistent in telling us how to use the internet properly.
Yes, absolutely, because we must be responsible in whatever we do. I mean, you'll remember this simple advertisement all over. If you drink, don't drive. Okay, you've seen an advertisement, drink responsibly. All right. So equally, in equal measure, we are saying for the tool that you're using on the internet, your platform, be responsible. Because the things that you say, the things that you post may come to haunt you. Right now, it's becoming very difficult to go to certain countries. The US has made it very clear that they want your footprint your social media footprint before they eventually give you
They ask for your social media handles.
Yeah.
They analyze you. They study you.
There you are.
Yeah.
Then, if you go to the Middle East, some countries now are saying if you are below 40, you get a more rigorous level of scrutiny before they give you your, permission to land in their country. So this thing is beginning to catch up. And my message is more to the young people, because they are the ones who are likely to be traveling. Okay, you're not going to be getting somebody who is retiring, making these trips. It's the young people who are looking for opportunities outside. Okay, and make sure that you're not shooting yourself in the foot by what you post and what you do, because it will catch up with you. A more recent one, which is as telling you the other a few minutes ago. I mean, just let's look at what is coming out with the Epstein files in the U.S.
In the U.S., yes.
You know, it's not just about young people. You know,
it's all of us.
Yeah, it's catching even the big the big and mighty are being caught in this kind of situations.
Yeah.
All right. So it is real.
Yeah.
It's not fiction.
Yet some,
you know, as people say, si hadith is a jabba. It's real.
Happening.
It's
real.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yet some are using the digital space very fruitfully, getting even jobs maju, while sitting right in their sitting room back home, and they are working abroad.
Yes.
Then again, maju, you know, there are people who land in a trap, and you've said you go there, think you have all the freedom you have here, yet many places, including US, shortcuts will land you in trouble, your behavior, and so on. What advice would you give to people?
Alex, the Constitution of Kenya applies to Kenya.
Kenya?
Yes. The Constitution of Kenya applies to Kenya. It does not apply in the United States. It does not apply in Japan. It does not apply in Germany. They have their own constitutions. They have their own laws. We must quickly get it into our heads. Our constitution and the rights we have here, ile maandamano yetu ya hapa, ni ya hapa.
Ni hapa.
We must get it into our heads, because you cannot assume that what you enjoy here, you'll automatically enjoy in another country. They are sovereign states.
Wow.
Yeah, that is why our elections, according to our constitution, will be in 2027, August. Tanzania have had their elections according to their constitution.
Uganda soon.
Is going to have theirs on. If we were working on one constitution, we would all be having elections in 2027.
2027.
But every country has got its own constitution. Our people must realize this. So if you live here and you go to another country and you assault a citizen of that country, why do you want to join the Kenya government in your personal transgression?
Dangerous.
Yes, it's your personal transgression. You are the one who has done what you have done.
When we land
and you see, I go to Parliament to try and speak to resources for Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You tell me, if I went to Parliament today, and Parliament is the one that allocates resources, taxpayers' money, by the way. Parliament allocates taxpayers' money. So I go to Parliament and I tell them, give me $1 billion shillings so that I can be using it to intervene when Kenyans have transgressed.
We will refuse.
Will Parliament give me that money?
Parliament will not give you. Us Kenyans will say, why?
Why?
Yes.
So the sooner our people realize that our intervention must be out of genuine situations where there is responsibility also being exercised by the other. But we cannot make personal adventure or misadventure a matter of collective guilt to enjoin all other Kenyan taxpayers for your transgressions. I think we must stop this game, and we must not continue treating people with kid gloves when in reality their lives are in danger or their lives are going to be ruined. They have to wake up. We have to tell people the truth.
The truth, yeah.
Yeah. And to me, I'm talking to the young people on this particular issue, because you're not going to get an 80-year-old man going to jail in that country. It is somebody who's young. If somebody decides to engage in drug trafficking, today the government of Kenya has arrested fellows who are caught in the high seas with a ship full of narcotics. They are facing the law here.
They're facing the law here, yes, yeah.
They've not been released. They are facing the law.
Wow, very powerful point there.
Yeah? So when you are caught trafficking in another country, what do you want the Kenya government to do?
It shouldn't be Kenya's burden, Kenya government's burden.
No,
Okay.
I think Kenyans need to wake up to this. We need to be a little more responsible in what we do. By the way, on a softer note, but a very touching one, in Indonesia, one of the Kenyans who was caught trafficking ended up having a baby
in the cells?
Yes. The Department of Diaspora actually took the baby and brought the baby here and gave it to the grandmother. Now, that is also a very humane
Look at that, yeah.
act. Yeah. But the mother caught in drug trafficking
And had to face the law.
had to face the law.
But for
the child who's
the
innocent,
child was innocent, had to be brought.
now the child had to be brought because the next of kin now becomes
And you leave your parents back home in distress.
in distress.
Yeah. Wow. The department has done well, and I think again we can talk
Endlessly about some of
and
these
yes,
things.
yeah. Let's wind up and look at just finally your parting shot. How 2026 looks like? Is it road to Singapore? I was in Singapore. I wish I stepped out of the airport recently, and the talk now is Singapore. I don't know, is that?
I've been to Singapore.
Yeah.
I went to Singapore some time back, and I'll tell you why I went to Singapore at that time. I went to Singapore because I was then in the Ministry of Finance, and we were working closely with transport. And we were trying to get a partnership between the Port of Singapore and the Port of Mombasa, because the Singapore people are extremely efficient in port management. The Singapore ports are one of the most efficient ports globally. Okay? And therefore I went into Singapore, and I had time to negotiate and talk to them. I came with those people here. But here is the irony. The cynics that we hear today around Singapore are not new. There were also cynics
There.
at that time when I went there. Because when we brought these people to partner with the Port of Mombasa, the cartels in Mombasa, who don't want Mombasa to achieve the international standards, They fought and chased away the team from Singapore and frustrated them so that they cannot help us improve. Now, these are the contradictions. The message I'm trying to put across, and this is a parting shot, is that Kenya will not grow if we continue as a people who are just simply inward looking.
Inward looking and cynical.
And cynical. We must get ourselves to see the examples, the developments, the trends, the best practices that are taking place in other countries. We are not going to invent the wheel here.
But if it's, people are saying that if it's corruption or people not getting jobs on merit or
Yes.
lack of focus, Singapore faced that and they resolved.
I mean, what is your target? What is your aspiration?
So they can be resolved. That's what
Yes.
we can copy from Singapore.
Yes, so we need to have a target. We need to see what is the best practice that we can emulate. So otherwise, do we want us to say that we want to be, because I'm a foreign minister, I can't name a country. But should we then, what should be our benchmark? What should be our beacon? What should be the light that we are looking towards to?
Wow.
We really need to have an attitude change, you know, as a Kenyan people. You'll not thrive on being cynical all the time. Okay? And you know, ironically, you will find that the person who is spewing the most vitriol, even on social media, has never even held one job, has no experience.
Has never traveled outside Kenya.
Has never traveled outside Kenya. But they're the most
They are the
prolific
experts,
on that. Somebody who has never even been to an engineering class is posting and making it look like they are the best port designers that you can ever come across. I mean, let us stop living in fantasy. Let us realize that other people, other nations are advancing. And you just need to go to Rwanda and start seeing what is happening to the Rwanda airport. You just need to go to Morocco and see what has happened to their new port in Tangier, the Med port. While we are busy being cynical towards each other, other nations are advancing. They are not waiting for us.
Oh.
And if we want to become competitive, we must open up to that potential.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is my singular advice to my fellow Kenyans.
Yeah, what a parting shot. I think on that note,
Yes.
we conclude this discussion. It's been quite insightful, from jobs Maju to international agreements that will transform Kenya. And your emphasis is, let's not be cynical.
Yes.
So we look forward to a much better 2026. Of course, 2025 has come with this milestone, but we always look for a better new year. So what's your resolution, looking at the camera, for the coming year?
Let it be a year of performance. Let it be a year when we migrate from cynicism to serious discourse on improving policy, improving programs as we go forward. It is our country. I want us to remember that if we work collectively towards the right objective, we shall be able to achieve a lot. So I want to wish Kenyans a Merry Christmas and a prosperous
2026.
2026 as we start gearing up for the election. By the way, on the election, let me just quickly share a thought with you. You know, since the IEBC is there, and since we want to also advance and move to the next level, I think this election should not just be about electing individuals. I think this election we can also use as the first election where we can have some critical constitutional issues that have never been resolved. We can have a referendum going side by side.
Side by side?
Yes.
Is it manageable?
Oh yes, why not? If you can vote for 6 people on one ballot paper, I think we are now mature enough to include maybe 2 or 3 constitutional
Questions.
issues that can be dealt with, so that as Kenyans we move forward, because we don't want to have arguments constantly on some issues that we know Parliament may not
So
want to
like
deal
what? What are those key
with.
issues?
For instance, there was the NADCO report.
It's gone silent.
It's gone
Not
silent.
hearing much about it.
Some of the issues that were canvassed in the NADCO report, and there's now debate about why aren't we implementing the NADCO report? Why haven't you done this in the context of... Some of those issues require a constitutional amendment. I think this is the time.
Is the time.
To,
If you could highlight 1, 2 or 3.
for instance, the debate around how do you deal with CDF.
CDF has been quite key.
It keeps going to the Supreme Court,
Back
goes
and
to
forth.
Parliament and whatever. The Supreme Court and the courts have been ruling that it's unconstitutional.
Wow.
Maybe this is the time to figure out how to solve it.
Another issue?
In one way or the other.
Number 2?
Another issue that can be perhaps dealt with could be perhaps the structure of governance.
Meaning?
Because there were issues of inclusivity or lack of inclusivity. Perhaps when one wanted to talk about introducing in the NADCO report the issue of a prime minister, this could be a time to resolve it through the ballot.
Yeah,
so that you
because some of those structures come after election,
yes,
and it's negotiated over the table.
So that you can solve it.
Yeah, solve it once and for all.
Once and for all.
So,
and then
so that it's constitutional.
So that it's properly constitutional.
Yeah, to avoid issues of people are people are shortchanged.
Yes.
We wanted this. Okay.
So I see that there's some 2 or 3 critical areas.
The third one?
The third one could be controversial, but perhaps we may now resolve the gender issue.
Which Parliament, again, it's been back and forth and not clear.
And not clear. That could be another area that...
and that's now like taking to the people.
Because you want public participation.
Wow.
What would be the biggest public participation?
Wow.
That defeats a referendum.
That will be big election, an election and a referendum.
It will be an election and a referendum on 2 or 3 critical constitutional issues. And I can tell you 2 things will happen. First, we'll solve issues that our Parliament has been unable to resolve. 2, we will get a higher voter turnout. And 3, we will be moving the country away from constant bickering on an issue to now moving to the next phase of implementing some of these critical issues. Yeah, because we can't be in a situation where the wheel is turning on the same spot. Okay. Every parliamentary season, the same conversation is taking place. We need to advance it so that there will be a new conversation and we move on to new things. And to me, these are the kind of debates that we should be having as Kenyans. Yeah.
Great. Very good insights there. You've had it. Very interesting. An election and a referendum, 2 in 1. and that will have some huge budgetary implications and also organization. But as you
No,
said, it's doable, and maybe
the budgetary implications maybe after, but the budgetary implications at the vote will not change.
Okay. You are taking advantage of the existing.
Yes, because it's
adding on the paper.
Yes, it's one ballot. So you're not going to create. You see that's the folly. When people start arguing that way, then they complicate things.
So I'm wrong.
On
I
this
was
one,
thinking in terms of human capacity. But
no. Once Kenyans are very intelligent on that score. Once they are clear on a particular issue, if Kenyans can go to a booth and not even voter assisted,
yes,
and they make a decision on 6 candidates, what defeats them from answering 3 questions? And the referendum question would be either yes or no. Once you have framed the question, it's either yes or no.
Wow. I think that's how we end this interview.
Yeah. Okay.
Very new. You've given us a newsworthy soundbite there.
Yes.
And enjoy your Christmas.
Thanks.
And I'm wishing you a happy New Year in advance.
Thanks.
Asante sana.
Okay.
Road to Singapore.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yes.
And nitaenda huko to do daring abroad. I'm told there are Kenyans there.
Yes.
And my next daring abroad trip, Singapore.
Yeah. By the way, it's amazing. Let me tell you. Let's take it seriously. Yeah. Let's take it seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
That's how we ended this show. Thank you so much. You've seen very insightful, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye.